First, visit the DWIN homepage and from the Download menu, select Kernel Update. Kernel refers to the operating system of DWIN monitor. The one we mainly use is the T5L operating system. RTC stands for Real-Time Clock. Some models have RTC built in, while others do not. You can choose depending on the model you have. In the DWIN system, by default, when a command is received, the received content is automatically returned as is. This is an automatic response for confirmation of receipt, but sometimes there are cases where it is inconvenient to process this response data. In such cases, you can prevent the automatic response by installing a version without the automatic response. When you purchase a DWIN monitor, it comes with a built-in OS by default, but it is recommended that you download and install the latest OS before using it. To update the new OS, just put it on an SD card along with the DWGIS design file and boot it. This DWGIS is a tool program for designing screens for DWIN monitors. In fact, even without purchasing a monitor, you can test the screens you design with touch and serial communication using the built-in preview simulator. Some functions require a real monitor, but most functions can be tested. This picture is the back of a 7-inch monitor. Some models have an RTC real-time clock, while others don't. Most monitors have a similar structure. I'll explain each part. The DWIN monitor is structured so that when you put a file designed with DWGIS into the SD card slot in the picture and turn the power on, the design content is saved to the memory, and when you take out the SD card and turn the power off and on again, it will operate as designed. SD cards only support up to 16 GB in FAT format and do not support 32 GB. In fact, the design file contents are not that large, so 100 MB is sufficient, but the disadvantage is that the ones with smaller capacities are expensive and rare. You can use an SD card of 16 GB or less after formatting it in FAT format. Also, if you need to use an SD card frequently during development, it is convenient to use an SD card slot extension cable. For development, it is convenient to have the FCC USB communication cable sold separately. Using this USB cable, you can download directly from DWGIS to DWIN monitor instead of going through the trouble of inserting and removing SD cards one by one. However, large files such as font files or OS files that are not frequently used may take a long time or cause communication problems, so it is recommended to put them on an SD card in advance and use this cable to download only design files that will change frequently. Meanwhile, there are 6 holes where you can connect another connector, and you can use it by soldering a 6-pin socket here. Of these, connect 5-volt power to power 5-volt, GND-, and use the TX2, RX2 ports for communication. For a 7-inch monitor, the current consumption is 700 milliamps, so it works well with USB power or a smartphone auxiliary battery. However, the TXD2 and RXD2 levels are RS232C10V levels, so if you want to use them at TTL levels, you need to take action as described below. If you want to use the RS232C level described in the previous chapter as a TTL level, you can short the TTL conversion jumper as shown in the figure. At first, the jumper is open and is the RS232C level, and if you short the jumper and solder it, you can use it as a TTL level. If you want to use Bluetooth, set it to TTL level and connect HC05 to a 6-pin socket.
Goodbye. See you again. Like and subscribe, please.